is the most awarded lady in country music history, singer-songwriter Loretta Lynn, who had sadly passed away at the age of 90. And for more on the legacy she leaves behind her, two who worked with Loretta herself, actor, filmmaker, and musician John Schneider and musician TG Sheppard. Thank you so much for joining us. TG, I want to start with you. You work with Loretta Lynn. Tell us about your experience with her and what you expect of her legacy that she's leaving behind.
Well, working with Loretta was like working with no other person in country music. She was very witty, very funny. I think the legacy will be, she will be remembered as the American dream. I mean, to have come from the humble beginnings of Butcher Holler to attain the international success she did as a country star will inspire singers for generations to come to believe that they can make it if she came from those type of beginnings to go all the way.
Yeah, you're so right, John. You work with her, too, on the Dukes of Hazzard. What was she like as a person?
Good morning, TG. Hey,
morning, John.
You know, the thing that when I think about Loretta, the number one quality is I don't ever remember her seeming to realize that she was Loretta Lynn. She was the most humble. She'd make sure you had coffee. She'd make sure your breakfast was warm. She cared about everyone else more than she cared about herself. And I believe she was no stranger to flooding. They had that terrible flooding there. I think it was 2 years ago now. And she made sure that the community was okay. She felt everyone's success. She felt everyone's pain. She felt everyone's joy. She was innately in tune with everyone around her. And I live right next to a train track, by the way. That train is not coming through the house.
It's got good timing, right?
It certainly does.
TJ, your wife...
The first concert I ever went to, by the way, as a side note, was Loretta Lynn in Conway.
Really?
Yeah. Certainly was.
Wow. TJ, your wife, Kelly Lane, I interviewed her the other day. She's another prominent country music force for sure. How was Loretta Lynn a trailblazer for the way women, now are in country? Because she certainly paved the way.
Well, as I said earlier, she's an inspiration for any generation in the future to try to succeed in country music. And the one thing that I loved about Loretta, when I mentioned her wit and sense of humor, is that when Loretta spoke to you, you felt like you were the only person in the room. And she was absolutely, she had no filter when it come to whatever she was thinking, it came out of her. So you would hear some hilarious things that Loretta would say in interviews or on stage that you'd go, did she say that? She was just a force that was, you couldn't control that force. She was the real deal. She was so unique, and that's what made her the star that she was.
Yeah, John, we talked about it earlier, but she had a remarkable story growing from poverty into the pinnacle of country music. How will you remember Loretta moving forward?
Well, I remember her as a woman who had a dream, who went for it, went for it and attained it. But, you have to go for it. That the wonderful stories of her bringing the 45s to, and I mean records, by the way, 45s to radio stations all throughout the country, and going for her dream with everything that she had, because I think if she were here today, she would say that she understood God had a plan for her. God had designed her to do something very specific, and she was going to go out there and she was going to do it.
Yeah.
So she was just a delightful, wonderful representative of not just country music and not just women, but just people. She was a good person.
Yeah.
And everyone who had the pleasure of knowing her knew that right away.
John, you're so right. I was on social media yesterday when the news came of her passing. So many people came out and shared stories about her and how she influenced them and the impact. And as you're right, she's just a good person. TG, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Your wife is a breast cancer survivor, and she's also an amazing singer. She released a new song in honor of the month. Talk to us about how music has impacted that journey for her as well as your family.
Well, my wife, Kelly Lang, of course, I could talk all day about her. I'm so proud of her and her career. When she was diagnosed with breast cancer, she actually started thinking that it was her life sentence instead of the death sentence that they gave her. So therefore, that in itself lends itself to a song. And so her new song, Life Sentence, just really tells about her journey that she took along the way. And it's affecting so many women right now, especially during Breast Cancer Month of October, are writing her and telling her that her story has been such an inspiration to her. But, music is a healer. No matter what you have wrong with you in your life, physically or health-wise. Music, the beautiful thing about it is that it can be a healer for anything that ails the human being. And I'm so proud of Kelly's new song, Life Sentence. It's in the video, it just knocks me out.
It is. Music is a healer, and when you hear about stories like Kelly's, and we talk about folks like Loretta Lynn, inspirational women for sure. John and TG, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming on this morning.
You're so welcome. It's always an honor to be here.
Thank you.
TG, let's talk.
All
Let's
right.
do.
We'll set up the convo. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much, and stay with us. We'll be right back. You're watching Wake Up America, only on